to Knowledge is Power Podcast Live with your host, Tony Renfro, and my co-hosts, LaDonna Sherwood and Francis Lockins.
Knowledge is Power Podcast Live starts now.
All right, we are on. Hey, LaDonna, your deal, my girl.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, we sure can.
Okay, Knowledge is Power Podcast Live is a platform to share important information by educating Southeast Texas African American communities with valuable information on health, education, finance, politics, and business. We pride ourselves on having our hand on the pulse of the community, honey, keeping you up to date on information going on in and around the Golden Triangle and the surrounding areas. Tonight, we have a very important guest, Mr. Mel Renfro, and we are super excited to have him on with us.
Well, hello, cousin. I'm so glad to have you. I'm glad you accept my invitation tonight. How are you?
Thank you. I'm proud to be on the show. I'm just so glad to hear about all that you are doing. I knew you were doing a lot, but I didn't know you were doing this much. I thought really a lot of what you were doing were involved around sports, but I see that you have your hands involved in a lot of things that are so important to the community, and it looks like you reach out to a lot of people.
Well, thank you. I'm so glad you're here, and because in Southeast Texas, you're a legend. This is Cowboys country, Dallas Cowboys country. They're strong here in this area, except myself. I retired when you retired, but anyway, I am so glad you're here because everywhere I go, they say, "Hey, how's Mel? What is he doing? Is he still in Dallas, or is he in Portland, or where is he doing?" So tonight, they've got a chance now to hear what you've been doing and how things going. And we was talking earlier about you was born in Houston, Texas, and we're that part of town. Our family are from that part of town in Fifth Ward and East Texas, around Jasper area. We had a lot of folks in that area, also in Corsicana. But anyway, Mel, you moved to Portland and at an early age, and you played ball at Oregon, correct?
Yes. Back in 1960, we moved to Portland, Oregon in 1944. Went to grade school, high school, Jefferson High School in Portland, Oregon, the University of Oregon, and played 14 years with the Dallas Cowboys, and spent most of my life there. And after 14 seasons with the Cowboys, was fortunate enough to have a glorious, successful season, and being able to go into the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
But and not a lot of people don't know this, but and they're Cowboys fans too. They don't know that you was a two-way starter at Oregon in college.
Well, back in my day, I never left the field.
Yeah.
Even in high school, we from the time the game starts to the time to finish, you're on the field. You played offense, you played defense, you played all the special teams, and even in college, you played the entire time. So I was on the field as an offensive player and a defensive player, running the ball and playing defense. So it was natural that I was multifaceted. Of course, once you got into the pros, they more or less specialized you. So I just played one position.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to say this. I'm going to let my girls come in and ask you a few questions because they're all excited. Back in the 60s when you played Texas and you played Rice, what they don't know is that back then that it was segregated and we was not welcome to the stadium. And matter of fact, at that time, it was a Southwest Conference in college, and those schools didn't accept blacks as a athlete. As a matter of fact, they accepted you as a student. So coming down here in 62 and 63, and you played Rice down in Rice Stadium, they had never seen a ball player like you before that played both ways. And I remember reading the paper that they said Renfro scorched the Rice Owls and by yourself, and you had a standing ovation from just those people.
Renfro runs Rice ragged
That's it.
Headlines
That's it.
after the game.
That's it.
Actually, actually, you know, before the game, because of the segregation, they couldn't we couldn't eat with the team, so they had to find a special place for our team to go eat before the game. So there were a lot of things that happened differently. One thing that happened after the game, the Rice fans, the students, mobbed me after the game. They came down and they put me on their shoulders. They were carrying me off the field. They were tearing pieces of the clothes off of them and giving it to me because I had such a good game. And we made headway that night as far as race relations. And like I say, my grandparents were there. My granddad was there. And it was just a breakthrough. And that was probably one of the greatest moments of my life to be able to see that happen. And getting back to Oregon after that, the students on campus saw the game on TV and told me what an impression that it had made on the national TV audience. And, I'm proud to say that I was a part of that movement.
Well, I am
I
too.
think
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I think given the current climate of today's Black Lives Matter movement, it's important to speak with people like yourself that are kind of trailblazers in a way that have kind of, just blazed the path for people like us. Now, let me ask you, because this is on a side note, be honest with me. Were you afraid? Were you ever afraid playing in some of these segregated places?
Well, to be honest with you, I didn't know any better.
Okay.
I didn't know any better to be afraid. If I had known the seriousness of what might or could have happened, I might have shied away. But I forged ahead on many different fronts back then because I thought what was wrong, and I should do or say something about it. I filed a civil rights lawsuit in Dallas during my playing days about a housing situation that I was asked not to do it, even by the Cowboy organization, because it caused a ripple. I didn't know any better. I was from the North, and I didn't encounter any problems or racism up there to any extent that I was aware of. So just being unaware of the seriousness of what the consequences might be, I just forged ahead, and maybe that was the thing to do, or obviously it was the thing to do. Maybe not have been smart, but it happened, and it opened up some doors. So I think that I'm glad that I did it, and all the things that are happening nowadays. I'm just hopeful and prayerful that things work out and we get this terrible situation turned around.
Yeah, I'm in awe. I'm sitting over here in awe. I guess having come up in the South, it really is a huge, tremendous difference because I can honestly say I have a fear of a lot of things on a day-to-day basis. And I mean, just growing up in Beaumont, it's a bunch of things that I may want to do or I may think about doing that I just know better than to do it. So that's kind of good. I wondered if you would be afraid, but I guess not. You didn't come up in that time or place, huh?
Well, let me give you an instance when my dad, when we were in Oregon in 1955, we drove down to Houston to visit the family. We hadn't been down there since since we left in '44, and we were driving from Portland to Houston, and we were somewhere in Oklahoma, and my dad went into a cafe to get some coffee. And I jumped out of the car and ran into the cafe, not knowing that it was segregated territory. And my dad said, "You get yourself back in that car, because some those white folks, they could have grabbed me, or they could have did something to us." But my dad got the coffee. We jumped in the car and took off. And he told me, he said, "You got to be careful. You got to know where you're at." I had no idea. We had just come from Portland, and we were going to an area where it was different. So, uh, you just have to understand, like you say, Donna, where you came up and the things that you have experienced, and where I came from, the things I've experienced, is kind of a different mindset. But we got to understand that there's some stuff going on out there that we have to be aware of and understand how to deal with it.
And we still have to deal with it.
Yes, we do.
Absolutely.
Francis?
Well, I was just reading again, just looking at your resume. You have, as I mentioned before, quite an extensive resume. I mean, oh my God, you are very decorated. You have so many awards and so many accomplishments and so many great things to be proud of. Can you tell me what your greatest? And you have to choose one. You have so many. Can you tell me what your greatest honor? Think back.
Well, you're not the only one that's asked me that question. I've been asked
I
that
can't
question
choose. You have so much here.
a million times. But I can't really answer. That's an impossible question. Here I am with all those things there that I've accomplished. I've been so blessed. My fifth grade teacher told me, she pulled me aside, and I'm 10 years old. She said, "I see something in you. I see something in you. One day you're gonna do something great."
Oh,
Here,
wow.
I'm a little 10-year-old kid not understanding. I knew I could run a little faster than some of the other kids. I could do this, I could do that, but never knowing I'm a little 10-year-old kid. And she's saying, "You're going to be somebody." And when I got to where I got and I was somebody, I looked her up. She's 80 years old. I looked her up and I visited her and I said, "Thank you, Mrs. Honeywell, for giving me the forewarning." And I kept working hard like you told me to do. Keep doing what you're doing and you're going to get.
Yes.
But I can't pick one thing. The Pro Football Hall of Fame was kind of the culmination of everything that I had done.
Well,
That I
I
kind of
was
reached the
hoping
mountaintop.
I was hoping you would wear your jacket tonight.
Tony, that's your fault, man. You should have told me
I
how to
was
dress.
And
hoping
let
I
me
was
tell you, Tony,
Yeah,
Tony don't want you to wear your cowboy stuff because Tony gives everybody with the Cowboys a hard time. He know he in cowboy country, but he steady pick these fights that he know he can't win.
yeah. I started to wear some of those rings, but I said, no, I don't want to.
Oh yeah.
Don't bring no rings out. Don't.
Bring all your rings out, Mr. Renfro, and your jacket.
Yeah, I
Now
hear
tell
so. Go ahead.
Look, I'm interested to know, do you still visit with the Cowboys? Do you still, some of the greater ones that have come after you, do you have a chance to, because I know that you guys do Hall of Fame things all the time and you get together, but tell me about that. Tell me how exciting that is. Tell me how you've impacted those players and just a little bit about that, about the organization.
Well, yeah, every year, of course, we go to the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Famers do up until this past year with the COVID. But with the Cowboys, we would get together every year and have a gathering, go to the stadium, and of course, Jerry Jones would invite us out and we'd have a party, and they get to talk to all the guys and just have a party and have a get together. So yeah, we did on a regular basis up until this past year. So of course, my health isn't. My wife is holding up my Hall of Fame jacket in front of me.
Oh, bring it! Oh,
There it is. But they said don't bring the rings.
But yeah, I will heavily is to show you the ring because these Cowboys fans hadn't seen a ring in 25 years.
Nobody asked you that, Tony. You know what? You could have left that out. See what I'm saying?
I got them put away. She probably can't
Yeah,
even find it.
But anyway,
I got them in the vault.
It has changed so much. Football has changed so much, Mel, and I back in your time in 64 when you was drafted by Dallas. I know you received a huge signing bonus and guaranteed money. But I'm just kidding, But just for instance, please tell my audience what was your salary? You were the first round pick, and what was your salary in 64?
I signed a 3-year contract my rookie year. 3 years at bonus added for $85,000. 3 years bonus included. Bonus was 25,000.
Oh, that's a lot of money back then. Those days, it really
It
was.
was.
Yeah, it really
It
was
was.
a lot of money.
You could
No,
get a Lexus for about 10,000, 15,
No, they wouldn't make
15
Lexus
grand.
then. They
you know,
wouldn't make Lexus then.
Oh,
these
okay.
guys make
This
more
is
in one
in the
play now
60s,
than I made my
Francis.
whole career.
Yeah, they
More
do.
in
They
one play, one
one
game, one
play.
play than I made my whole career.
Ain't that something?
Got to put that in perspective. You can't.
Right, right. It
That's right.
is.
Lexus was a thing. Oh, Lord.
Yeah, we're talking way back, young
We
lady.
talking in the
You're talking
60s.
about in the
Well,
'60s,
let me
baby.
Google. Let me Google what car. Mr.
Yeah,
Renfro, what car? Did you buy a car? Did you do that? What did you buy?
That 25,000 of that went to a car.
that
Okay.
came with a
Yeah,
car.
they bought me a car. Well, actually,
Oh, no.
no, no,
Okay.
no, no. Let my memory go back. They gave me 25,000 cash and then a car, which was 25,000. Yeah, the car
Yeah,
cost
Okay.
yeah. The
25,000.
car would have been $2,500.
Well,
Oh, okay.
brand new '64 pink Grand Prix,
That's right.
All
Pontiac
right.
Grand Prix.
That's right. And you were smoking there back
Oh
then too.
yeah, driving in
Didn't tell you
style.
nothing.
I was happy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I hear you played for the Dallas Cowboys for 14 straight years. 14 straight years. That's not heard of today. And that's how much the league has changed from that time until today. And I feel like the equipment wasn't as good as it is today as well. So I'm gonna bring you back to '66 when you played in Green Bay, and that was the evening I cried like a baby when you played Green Bay in the frosted tundra of the in the Green Bay Stadium,
Ice Bowl. Yeah.
Ice Bowl. And I can remember seeing you standing up there at the goal line, just shaking your head. And you know what I was doing? I was crying because I was a true Cowboy fan. That was our year that year, wasn't it?
Right. Yeah. Actually, that was '67.
It
Yeah.
was '67, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. On the 1 yard line. Yeah. That was. Yeah.
It
That,
was
that,
it was
yeah.
below zero.
Yeah. You weren't the yeah, 13 degrees below zero. Wind chill factor was, I don't know, 43 degrees below zero. It was. Everybody. Right after I ran on the field, I couldn't feel my hands anymore. The whole game, I couldn't feel my hands. It was so cold.
I know.
It took me 15 minutes after the game to take my uniform off because I couldn't use my hands. I had to run my hands under cold water for 5 minutes to thaw them out enough to take my uniform off. So that was a miserable experience, and the game should not have been played. It should have been postponed. But that's part of history.
Mm-hmm.
Girls, you have any questions on?
I have a question. I was interested in the 14 years with Dallas Cowboys. Can you tell us a little bit about the culture there? Tell us a little bit about the climate in those 14 years. Was it like a family? Tell me about being a player at Dallas for 14 years. What was that culture like?
One thing I will say about the Dallas Cowboy organization and football team, players, coaches, and families was that's what we were, a family. That's why we were a winning football team and a winning organization. We had a great coach, we had great players, we had great people. Right after my first year, we started winning. My second year, we were 7-7, went to a playoff game, and from then on, we went on to 10 consecutive winnings, well, 10 consecutive winning seasons, and went to 8 NFC championship games, 4 Super Bowls. We were a happy team. We had teammates. We had no racial issues between us players, and we all got along extremely well. We had social gatherings. We enjoyed our time together, and that's why we became America's team. Back in the
Mm-hmm.
'60s and '70s, and there was no mystery to that. It's because we got along so well, we played so well together. We had a great coach, and the atmosphere was good. And we had a few little situations in Dallas, but there was nothing that we couldn't overcome and that we didn't overcome. And that's because we became successful and went to playoff games and went to Super Bowls and had a successful team.
What year was that franchise organized actually?
1960 was the first year.
Oh wow.
My first year was 64.
Okay. Okay. Wow.
You know, Beaumont is considered proclaimed the pro football capital of the world. You knew that, right?
I knew
And
that.
I may have heard that somewhere.
Yeah, per capita
right.
had more NFL players at one time in the NFL
That's
that played that
right.
was from Beaumont. You know, a lot of them was family too.
Right. The Smith boys.
Smith
Yeah.
Boys, right? And our other cousin, Mel and Miller Farr and Jerry
Right.
Levice. So you know, we're a football family.
Right.
And Francis, you have another question you want to ask?
Yeah. How did you feel when you got your first ring? What was that feeling?
It, a lot of people don't never get those things.
I know. It's an honor to show up on the field that day.
Yeah, I mean wow. I when I go around the country sometimes I wear my rings and people just go crazy. And I got a bunch of rings.
I know.
I've got two winners Super Bowl rings, two runner-up Super Bowl rings, and I've got 2 Hall of Fame rings. And I just got a bunch of
You're a
rings.
bad man.
I love every one of them. From the first one to the last one.
All
Okay.
right.
Mel, you look great, man. You look
Mhm.
good. Regardless
Thank
of what you go, you look wonderful. It's good
I
to
was
see
just
you.
telling my husband, I said, Mr. Renfro, he seems to have an impeccable memory. He appears to be in good health. You meet a bunch of football players that don't really have it together like you. Give us the secret on that, okay?
Well,
Forget all about all the rest of that. Tell us how you maintain this pristine image and the way you look and the memory that you have.
I thank you for saying I've got a good memory because I can't remember what I had for breakfast this morning. Uh, I I have forgotten so much, but I remember enough. And uh, thank you for saying that. I struggle with some things, daily, but life has been so good to me, and I cherish, every day, every minute, and I just look forward to tomorrow.
Yeah. Now you have overcome cancer a couple of times, correct?
I had prostate cancer a few years back, and it's gone. It's gone, and so I'm basically my vitals are in good shape. I've got some pain issues, which
Right.
all of us old guys do, but my vitals are good, and uh, so
That's
I feel
wonderful.
happy. I feel happy about that.
Yes, God is good.
Mhm.
Yes, He is. My co-hosts, they are behind the screens smiling and fidgeting.
Well, I can see one of them.
Yeah, the
The
other
other
one,
one's hiding behind a picture there.
yeah, she ducking and dodging, but they're so excited. I'm just gonna let them take over. Go ahead, girls.
Well, I want to know, Michael Irvin, is he? I watch him all the time on TV. Is he his disposition? Is it always the same like that? Because it seems like the Cowboy franchise picks some of the lightest hearted guys and most fun and crazy guys there are. And I don't know if it's the talent or how that actually happens, but the culture, just from years and just from having this conversation with you, it just seems like that's just the way that a Dallas Cowboy player, professional just comes across, just like a breath of fresh air.
Well, yeah, I don't get to see Michael up close and personal hardly at
Tell him I
all.
said hi.
But yeah, but I see, I hear what you're talking about, and we've got as former Dallas Cowboys, we got so much to talk about.
Yeah.
There's a lot of players don't have much to talk about, but we got a lot to talk about. So let's talk about it because we've got Emmett, we've got Troy, we got
Yeah.
Dion, we got Ed Too Tall Jones. I
A lot
mean,
of the great.
Roger Staubach. I mean, we got Super Bowl this, Super Bowl that, and we got Michael. So we got a lot of folks out, and the new guys,
Yeah,
And that's
that
why we get so
Dak
mad
and
at Tony, because Tony always hating. Like he don't understand the meaning of what it is to be a cowboy, baby. He acts as if he don't understand. And then when
yeah.
we get customers on the line, he badges the customers, our client, our participants, if they like the Cowboys. That's what you
Yeah,
hear what Mr. Renfro said. We got a lot to talk about, baby.
yeah.
Hey,
That's right.
Mel, it was a question I wanted to ask. Yeah, here's the question I want to ask. What actually really happened? It's been 25 years. I'm not bashing your Cowboys, ladies. But what happened to the Cowboys? It's been 25 years now. What is it? The organization, or is it the coaching, or is it? They've been stagnant for 25
Yeah,
years,
you don't get
two
me in trouble.
decades.
You're getting me in trouble here saying something I probably shouldn't say. Uh,
Oh, no, man, I'll change
you know,
that. I'm asking another question.
I think a few years back, or maybe quite a few years back, I think management might have gotten in the way of coaching.
Mm-hmm.
And if they'd have just left coaching alone, they would have been a whole lot better. But management jumped in and some problems started. And I think since then it just hadn't gotten any better. And I don't know if it ever will.
Did you ever? Did you ever have thought about coaching when you retired after 14 years?
Initially, I did. Matter of fact, I went to St. Louis for 1 year. I scouted with the Cowboys for a year, and then I went to St. Louis with the Gene
Partners.
Stallings and the Cardinals for a year, and just didn't catch on. So uh, I would love to have coached, but I guess it just wasn't in the cards for me.
Because man, coaching now it's a shift in that. I mean, not just in financial, but you're not at one place all the time. Matter of fact, it's a 20 almost a 24-hour
Yeah.
job.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's big business. It's a different world.
Totally different world.
I know that a lot of people that have played in the NFL go on to do sports commentating and TV shows and things of that nature. Were you ever interested, or have you done anything like what we do here? Like we sit and talk with Tony, or done any sports commentating, talking,
No,
communications types of
no,
stuff?
no. That was never my interest. I'm surprised y'all getting so much out of me that you are getting out of me tonight, because I was known as an introvert and very quiet and didn't really say very much. But I always say that if you got something to say, you can say it. But if you got nothing to say, you keep quiet. So my wife does most of the talking. I'm a very good listener. But when you have played for the count, and when you had the life I've had and had the sports experiences that I've had, and had the cowboy experiences I've had, then you've got something you can talk about, and you've had all the friends that I've had. So, and then, and guys like Tony, and being able to meet people like y'all who are very good and easy to talk to makes it easy for me.
Yeah, well, of course, I don't change. I'm always the same. Cause, but listen, these young ladies have to keep me in line because I get out of hand at times. But you have a huge following here, and I'm sure we're going to have many comments and calls about you in this show here. And we want to let you know that we really appreciate you having a minute to stop by and say a few words and let everybody know how well you're doing and how well you're looking. Because I'm telling you, hey girls, he is 79 years old.
I
That's right.
know. I can't believe it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just excited about that, honey. He didn't give us the secret, but if it was a secret to get, I sure hope he would text us or something so we can look that good when we turn about 80 years old.
Yeah, my daddy's genes. He passed them on to me. He was 80 years old. He looked like he was 40.
Oh wow.
Bless his heart.
I think it's that Renfro blood, to be honest.
There you go.
I'm
All
There
gonna
right,
you
tell
go.
you.
Francis.
Now
All
look
right,
at that.
I'm gonna
Francis.
Look at
tell
All
you.
right,
that.
Francis.
It's all
I'm,
puffed up there.
I'm gonna tell you. I got some in my family, and they don't look at they over 40. 50.
Yes, old Liz, lucky girl.
Uh,
Yes. But anyway, any more girls?
I just want to say
oh,
thank you. We appreciate you for taking a moment, and we are super excited to have you on. And you're looking well, and you have a great memory and a wonderful personality. And we are just excited and elated to have you on tonight.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that very much. And thank you, Tony, for having me. And I'll look forward to the next time if that comes about.
Yeah, I know you're not. I know you're not playing golf anymore. So we're trying to. Once this COVID-19 is over with, I like to host. We like to host a golf tournament in the future, near future, and like to invite you down as our what we call that, girls, our ambassador.
Well, if health permitting, I'd love to come down and visit.
Yes, and bring us some helmets, and we'll get some
bring your
helmets for you.
ring.
Yeah,
Don't bring the
I'll,
rings. Don't
I'll,
bring the
I'll,
rings.
I'll bring it all. I'll even bring the wife.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
good, good. And we'll
All
have
right.
an autograph deal party going on. We'll just get something going for you. But Mel, I appreciate you. It's been great to have you here and to see you doing so well. And you're blessed. Let's say
Thank
that
you.
God has blessed
Appreciate it.
you, and I wish you all the best going forward. And stay safe, ladies. I'm gonna let you guys close out for us. If you'd like to add any last words.
Oh no, my last words would be just thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk with us a little bit and to shed some light on history and on the Cowboys culture. And we have been really enlightened about some of the things you said, and you have been a light to us tonight. So we really appreciate you, and we hope to see you soon.
All right. Thank you
We're
very
talking
much.
about we're talking about the legendary Mel Renfro, Hall of
You.
Famer, former Dallas Cowboy All Pro selection for 5 straight years, not 5 straight years, but 5 years, 5-time selection. Now that don't happen often. That's my cousin right there, y'all.
All
Everybody
right.
here, thank you, God bless, and I appreciate you, Mel, again. And tell the family I say hello, and we'll come together again. Okay.
All right. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right.
Thank you for watching Knowledge is Power Podcast Live. Be sure to like and subscribe to all Knowledge is Power social media pages.
We still on here.
I don't know how to turn this thing off.